Hello, I'm Andy Bache of AdventureServe Ministries, and I want to say happy Arbor Day. For years now, we've been celebrating Arbor Day with 4th and 5th grade students through a partnership with Wilmore Elementary School and the City of Wilmore. Every year, students come down to our campground for an afternoon of environmental education activities. And as well, we give away free plants to the students, and we plant at least one new tree on our campground. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we are not able to have students come and play with us today. Instead, we're going to offer you a virtual Arbor Day celebration. We're going to be planting a yellowwood tree and handing out chokeberry bushes as part of this virtual Arbor Day celebration. I'm going to share some thoughts about the history of Arbor Day and the improvements that we are making naturally with our camp. And maybe your teachers will add this informative video into your virtual learning curriculum. The very first Arbor Day was celebrated in 1885 in Nebraska, which was actually just a couple years before our camp property hosted the very first Wilmore Holiness Camp Meeting on these grounds. Hundreds, maybe thousands of people gathered underneath two chinkapin oak trees that are behind me up on hillside by our pavilion. If you ever come out to our property, you'll find a beautiful swing underneath these two large chinkapin oaks. I can just imagine crowds of people gathering together here in Wilmore to hear from the leaders of Asbury Seminary and Asbury University who launched those first camp meetings. The date of the first Arbor Day was selected because it was the birthday of the founder of Arbor Day, who had annual plantings each year of trees. His name was J. Sterling Morton. Morton later became U.S. Secretary of Agriculture under President Grover Cleveland. His son left a mark on history too by founding the Morton Salt Company. Another thing that he did was found the Morton Arboretum outside of Chicago, where I grew up going on field trips to learn about trees, just like students come down to see the wide variety of trees that we have on the AdventureServe campground. Since owning this property, we have planted over 100 trees and so many other bushes and grasses. We've invested thousands of dollars and have had a special emphasis on this stream that crosses our property, focusing on doing stream restoration work. This stream is called Wilmore Town Branch because it flows through Wilmore and gathers up all of the rainwater that we receive. It first surfaces over by the mini park near Asbury Inn, and then flows underneath the railroad tracks through some neighborhoods, past Braden Park up the road here, across the AdventureServe camp property, and then it goes through forests and along pastures on its way to Jessamine Creek. Jessamine Creek is a very special stream, not just because it's the namesake of Jessamine County, but because it holds some beautiful woodlands and significant species. It has a watershed. Now, a watershed is basically a basin or a geographical bowl that gathers up water after rains. It has a watershed of 7,500 acres. Downstream of our camp are 3 parcels of land along Jessamine Creek managed by the Nature Conservancy because the habitats there have been recognized as ecologically sensitive and an outstanding state resource according to the Kentucky State Wildlife Preservation. Now, do you know what river Jessamine Creek flows into? This river was once a major highway for businesses, travelers, hunters, and even explorers because it connects to other great rivers of America. Our county is made up of 41 miles of this river. That's a lot of coastline in Jessamine County. Have you figured out what river it is? It has great rock cliffs along it called Palisades, and its history includes people like Daniel Boone, who even had a cabin above its banks at High Bridge just 5 miles from here. But the river's history goes farther back, exposing some of the oldest limestone rock in our state. The river provides drinking water for 1 out of every 6 Kentuckians, and your drinking water comes from it thanks to the smart water treatment specialists of Wilmore. Have you figured out which river the water in this little stream through Wilmore joins with after flowing down Jessamine Creek? Yes, it's the Kentucky River. Because of our efforts to take care of the stream on the AdventureServe property, we've received multiple grants from the Kentucky River Authority. The land along a stream is known as the Riparian Way. It's very important in the Riparian Way to plant shade trees over the stream, as well as add native species to add a space for habitat to thrive. We've added a rain garden near the stream. We've planted many trees. We've taken out non-native invasive species, and we've added other species like the Kentucky cane that you might see along our stream. This year, you might see a lot of dirt on our property right now. That dirt is going to be used to fill a kind of a sunken area where the old cafeteria of the camp meeting once stood. That building had become deteriorated and was in bad shape, so we took it down, and now we're going to create more of a recreational space where people can play frisbee or have a picnic. We're also going to be planting native flowers and grasses along the stream and adding additional trees. For Arbor Day this year, the featured tree that we are planting is a yellowwood tree. Yellowwood is a medium-sized, vase-shaped flowering tree. Its low branching structure and broad rounded crown can reach a height of 40 feet with a wide spread of 50 feet. The leaves are alternate and compound, with about 9 pointy leaflets turning bright green in the summer, then yellow in the fall. The fragrant, creamy white flowers hang in long clusters and will bloom in the spring. Flowers then change to flat, thin, hard-coated seed pods which mature in the fall. Come by sometime to walk around camp, to look at our trees, like the serviceberry near the covered bridge or the young sycamore by the rain garden. Both are Arbor Day trees from previous years. I don't know about you, but living within the restrictions of COVID-19 has been hard. But it makes getting outside that much better. In fact, I've recently learned that sunlight builds up our vitamin D levels, which helps our immune systems. Interestingly, our environment is also being affected by the coronavirus. Surprisingly, it's actually a good impact. There have been studies that show that we have cleaner air quality in the last few weeks, and that carbon emissions have gone down, as well that some bodies of water are clearer. There are actually some really fun photos of national parks out there, like Yosemite Valley, where bears and bobcats are roaming freely because all the visitors are gone. And I also saw one in South Africa where a pride of lions, a pride is like a family group of lions, are just sprawled out sunbathing on the main entrance road into this South African park. We all know that we should take this virus seriously to stop its spread. But knowing that the environment benefits when humans slow down, that makes you think, doesn't it? Like maybe when we get busy again, we should do our best to limit the harmful things humans do to the environment. Planting something is a great way to help the environment. Mary Miller and the Wilmore Community Development Board have provided free plants to us each year to give away to Wilmore families. If you are a 4th or 5th grader, you may come to the school and pick up a chokeberry bush. We'll be letting you know which day to pick those up. It will most likely be during the school lunch handing out, and you can plant it at your home if you're allowed. It will grow to be about 4 feet high, 4 feet wide. It's a beautiful bush like our yellowwood. It has white flowers in the spring, and then in the fall, the green leaves turn red. Oh, it also has black berries that birds will enjoy. Mary is going to demonstrate for us how to effectively plant this bush. First, when you get your sprout, it will already be wet at its roots. It's important to keep the roots wet with some paper and a bag the entire time. You could even just put it in a bucket of water until you're ready to plant it. And then you'll dig a hole, as Mary's demonstrating, and you'll set the roots in, and you'll want the start of the tree where the roots and the trunk transition. That's at the height of the ground, and then you'll pour in the dirt and water it a good bit. The first few days you'll really want to water it a good bit. Well, as I close this video, I just wanted to quote J. Sterling Morton, the founder of Arbor Day, who once said that Arbor Day isn't like other holidays. Those holidays reflect on the past, while Arbor Day changes the future. Well, thanks for watching this video, and please do something that shows your care for creation, whether that be climbing a tree or just watching a rabbit out on the lawn to study its movement. Whatever you do, maybe you can do it outside, and go ahead and do so. And again, happy Arbor Day from AdventureServe.